Hello everyone, welcome to the module Business Analytics and Intelligence. And this presentation is developed from the perspective of business analysts to assess the performance of clothing retailing in the UK, providing data-driven recommendations based on trends over the years. Further, the data acquired by UK clothing retail companies to facilitate data visualization, descriptive analysis, and predictive analysis based on correlation and regression helps in making informed decisions to sustain future performance. Next, we are going to discuss about industry briefing. So this slide discusses the industry overview of the UK clothing retail sector that reflects rising revenue, although in an uncertain business environment. So the annual growth rate of the UK clothing retail is forecast to grow while involving uncertainty related to high operational cost with rising wages and national employer contribution, high competition and national employer contribution. Hence, the financial performance of clothing retail firms is affected by these challenges, although revenue growth is supported by online sales to sustain growth in the long term. Next is the data compilation. In this slide, the explanation of the data compilation process covered, which involves consideration of the same database. So the five selected companies from the UK clothing retail sector are M&S, JD Sports, ASOS, Ted Baker, and Unique, which collected data from 2015 to 2024 to perform data analysis operations. The selected data are five managed metrics like current ratio, long-term debt, stock turnover, debtor collection days, and number of employees with one outcome metric of net profit margin, which are important to make data-driven decisions. Next is the data visualization intercompany. The intercompany comparison is covered in this slide considering the current ratio and long-term debt of clothing retail firms in the UK. So this indicates a higher level in New Look due to financing using borrowed capital, although the idea cash level in Ted Baker in 2024. So, based on rising issues of high operational cost and competition impacting the operational performance of retailing firms, JD Sports, M&S, and ASOS have remained stable over the years. Thus, the management of liquidity conditions by clothing retail firms while controlling debt enhances fiscal health over the years. So next will be data visualization across the trends. So this slide covers trends of profit margin and employee numbers in five companies over the years, which indicates the highest profit held by JD Sports and M&S with better management of employees. So however, rising business cost and competition due to shifting consumer preferences towards low-cost products fluctuate the financial performance of UK cloth retail firms, although online shopping and circular model develop revenue levels. Thus, the trend shows better employee utilization by companies like JD Sports and M&S to enhance profit margin levels in 2024. So next will be a business dashboard. So basically the consideration of a business dashboard using the different graphs and its viability for better visualization process are covered in this slide. So the combo chart and the pie chart in the dashboard are feasible to understand the highest profit margin and employees in JD Sports. Although M&S maintain better stock turnover, the highest current ratio in Ted Baker. However, the stacked volume chart of ASOS for MAO of application provides insights into different operating systems to make decisions towards promoting online selling using apps. Next is the summary statistics for descriptive analysis. So in this slide, the descriptive statistics considering mean, median, standard deviation, and count evaluate relationships between variables. So the number of employees and profit margin involves standard deviations of 28,786 and 9.26, representing high dispersion reflecting performance differences among UK clothing retail firms with a count of 50. So median is a better indicator of central tendency than mean, which is sorted by extreme values of long-term debt and profit margin. Therefore, the stable average, while relying on the mean, provides insights into the data distribution. The median reflects a skewed data-based and standard deviation measures consistency. So next is the predictive analysis, which is the correlation. So the correlation between dependent and independent variables is evaluated in this slide, which evaluates the negative relation between managed outcomes like stock turnover and current ratio of minus 0.72. So a strong positive correlation is plus 0.18 and minus 0.2 is considered a weak negative correlation. So further, a positive correlation between debtor collection days and long-term debt is found to be 0.34 with no linear relation between current ratio and profit margin. Thus, controlling debt levels and collecting dues from customer enhances the fiscal health of UK clothing retailers with a positive correlation between variables. Next is the predictive analysis regression model. So the regression model interpretation is covered in this slide, which shows a weak positive influence of the dependent variable on the independent variable. So independent variables are long-term debt, debtor collection days, stock turnover current ratio, and number of employees and profit margin in the dependent variable. So current ratio p-value is 0.08, which is close to significance with a weak positive influence along with the profit margin and debtor collection days, which evaluates no meaningful effect with a p-value of above 0.3. ANOVA and R square represents 16% variation in the dependent variable from the independent variable and do not explain the outcome effectively. So next is the managerial decision making. So this slide covers the decision making undertaken by managers as per the insights of predictive models based on insignificant relation between independent and dependent variables as per prediction. It evaluates the considered outcome, although the correlation negates the relevance of insights. So managers are required to facilitate capital allocation of process to manage long-term debt and promote debtor collection to enhance financial performance. Hence, the reliability of predictive models is weak, although they indicate a positive relation between managed metrics like long-term debt and debtor collection. Next is the recommendations. The recommendations for UK clothing retail industry is evaluated in this slide, which involves the implications of AI for automating operations to maintain sufficient stock and enhance profit. Additionally, upskilling employees to develop productivity might help in increasing profit margin. Therefore, based on the results of descriptive and predictive analysis, the process of better capital allocation should help in managing issues of rising cost and stiff competition with higher returns in the UK cloth retailing sector. Next is the conclusion. So the slide concludes the uncertain market environment of the cloth retailing industry with stiff competition and high cost challenges. Managed metrics influence the results of the outcome metric, although descriptive and predictive analytics indicate an insignificant relation between variables like current ratio and profit margin. So further, the data visualization is viable for making informed decisions for managers related to stock management through AI and upscaling employees for higher profit. These are the references. Thank you for listening.